a major German newspaper just dropped a bombshell that nobody in the Western world wants to talk about openly. They said it plainly. China is doing exactly what America did over 100 years ago. Quietly, methodically, China is taking over the world. And here is the part that should make you pay attention. This statement did not come from Beijing. It did not come from a friendly source. It came from Germany, a country known for its caution, its precision, and its loyalty to the Western Alliance. Hello everyone, I am coming to you from Singapore, where we have a habit of watching the great powers from a careful distance. Today, I want to break this down for you. What did the Germans actually say? Why did they say it now? And what does it mean for you, no matter where you are watching from? Stick with me until the end, because the implications of this single statement will shape the next decade of your life. Let us start with the actual quote. Germany's Handelsblatt, one of the most respected business publications in Europe, recently observed that despite escalating trade frictions with the United States, China continues to steadily set the direction of its future development. The Germans noted that Beijing is consolidating its technological dominance while strengthening its economy through consumer demand and social security reforms. Then came the comparison that lit the fire. A separate analysis suggested that China's current trajectory bears a striking resemblance to America's quiet ascent in the late 19th century. For those who do not know the history, here is the context. In 1865, just after the American Civil War ended, the United States was still an industrial backwater compared to Britain and France. Less than 30 years later, by 1894, America had overtaken every European power to become the world's largest economy. Most of the world did not even notice it was happening. By the time they did, the game was already over. Now look at China. In 1978, China was the 8th largest economy in the world. By 2010, it was the 2nd. Goldman Sachs has projected that China may very well become the largest economy on the planet within the next few years. Stop and think about that trajectory for a moment. The Germans are not making a wild claim. They are reading the same data everyone else has access to, but they are willing to say out loud what others only whisper. Here is where things get really interesting. The German report made a point of saying that China's rise is fundamentally different from America's in one key way. America rose through industrial muscle, technological monopoly, and yes, sometimes through coercion. China is rising through partnership, technological innovation, and global cooperation. But the pattern of influence, the way that influence spreads quietly into every corner of the globe, that part is almost identical. Let me give you some concrete examples. Take 5G technology. Chinese companies now control roughly 30% of global 5G patents and equipment manufacturing. Huawei alone has forced the United States, the country that invented the internet, into a defensive crouch. Washington has tried sanctions, bans, and diplomatic pressure. None of it has stopped the underlying trend. This is exactly how America once broke the technology dominance of Britain and France in electricity, steel, and telecommunications. Then there is high-speed rail. Chinese trains are running in countries across Asia, Africa, and even parts of Europe. Energy cooperation deals span dozens of nations. The Belt and Road Initiative connects more than 100 countries through infrastructure, trade routes, and investment. Whatever you think of it politically, the scale is extraordinary. And it is happening without a single shot being fired, without a single colony being established. Now let us talk about diplomacy, because this is where the story gets really compelling. China has stepped into the Middle East in a way nobody expected. Beijing has been quietly mediating between Washington and Tehran, mapping out the core interests of both sides and proposing structured peace frameworks. Compare this to how the United States gradually inserted itself into global affairs throughout the early 20th century. The pattern is unmistakable. So why are the Germans saying this now? And why are other Western media outlets staying silent? Here in Singapore, we have a saying, when the elephants stop fighting in public, it usually means they are negotiating in private. The German statement is significant precisely because Germany is one of the most important economies in Europe and one of America's closest allies. When a country like that publicly acknowledges that the global balance is shifting, it sends a signal to everyone else. Polls inside Germany itself show a fascinating split. 28% of Germans say China is a partner they must cooperate with strategically. 38% say China is a competitor they must confront directly. This division is not just German. It runs through every Western capital from London to Ottawa to Canberra. Nobody knows whether to push back harder or to start hedging their bets. Here is something most people miss. When America was rising in the late 1800s, Britain tried to slow it down. During the American Civil War, Britain officially stayed neutral but quietly supported the Confederacy, hoping to split America in two. After World War I, Britain and France worked hard to prevent America from setting the terms of the new global order. Sound familiar? It should. Because the same dynamic is playing out today, just with different players. But there is one crucial difference between the China of today and the America of 100 years ago. China has not gone to war with anyone. China has not invaded a neighbor. China has not established a network of overseas military bases that stretches across the globe. Whether that restraint will last forever, nobody can say. But for now, the contrast is real. History tells us something important. When America finally reached the top, it began to push down anyone who might challenge its position. The Soviet Union collapsed under American pressure in the 1980s. Japan, an American ally, was forced into the Plaza Accord and entered what they call the lost decades. The question hanging over the entire international system right now is simple. If China reaches the top, will it do the same thing? Or will it actually behave differently? The answer to that question will define the rest of your life. If you are young, it will shape your career. If you have children, it will shape their world. If you run a business, it will shape your supply chains, your customers, and your competitors. For us here in Singapore, this is not abstract. We sit at a crossroads. We trade with everyone. We have to read the signals correctly. And when a German newspaper says that China is becoming the new America, we take notice. Not because we are choosing sides, but because we cannot afford to be wrong. What do you think? Do you see China rising in the same way America once did? Or do you think the comparison breaks down somewhere? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you want more honest analysis from outside the usual filters. And share this video with someone who still thinks the world is exactly the way it was 20 years ago. Because it is not. And the people who understand that first will be the ones who come out ahead.